Configuration said, wondering, what would you like to see in the future that Proton should improve upon with their ecosystem? I personally would love to see Contacts become its own dedicated product with its own web, mobile, and desktop apps, and also have Calendar updated more often and give its own separate desktop app for every OS. I'll let you start.
That would be a nice feature, first of all, if contacts, especially if contacts could integrate with
Yeah,
the system somehow, like
like
some sort
Tuda.
of bridge situation,
Yeah.
because yeah, a lot of apps, a lot of like non-Proton apps rely on my contacts, and I don't have a great way to sync them at the moment. So having that encrypted on the server side would be cool. The feature that I probably want the most is a pretty niche feature, I think, so it's probably not what most people want, but I really want shared mailboxes. If I had like multiple users in a organization and I had like a support mailbox, for example, I would love to have something like that basically. Right now, they have some new like shared list functionality, but it basically like you can set up an alias that forwards to multiple inboxes, but it's not the same as having like a single shared inbox
Yeah.
that you can access in the same account as your personal one or whatever. So that would be nice if Proton is listening. Please consider doing that.
Yeah, we had this issue back when we had our previous team members. We had someone who was managing our support inbox, and the Techlore support inbox was just linked to my account on Proton. And so I was like, oh crap, how do I let someone else access it without getting access to my emails? And so what I had to do is I had to pretty much set up a new account, right? A new Proton account, and we just had to share the creds, and that's how we had to access it. But I got tired because Proton's account management is also really poor, right? Like it's
Yeah.
hard to be logged into multiple Proton accounts, and it takes a long time to switch them. It's easier to set up browser profiles and just stay logged in separately than actually
Yeah.
dealing with Proton's account switching. So I ended up, our workflow was anything that I needed to get back to was then forwarded to me from the support email instead of me directly responding from there. It was a nightmare of a workflow, and this new lists thing they have doesn't really fix that problem. So I agree, it's a great feature, and I wish they had it because it's something I've dealt with, and I it's just a common sense feature I think for businesses because
Yeah.
every business probably has a support email, and they don't just have probably one person getting back to everything. On a similar note, this is also kind of a business thing, but I think definitely more of a personal usage thing is email templates. You have no idea how tired I am of, because we get the same emails every day, right? Like a lot of people, and again, like I wish we could, but a lot of people reach out and they go, hey, I have this question. Like, I saw this video, you said this, but I didn't understand what you meant. And we just don't have the capacity and bandwidth to respond to all those emails. And that's why we try to set up the forum and everything to keep things so that the community can kind of help out and that we can centralize like how we can help out people a little bit more. But I have email templates set up to just like, hey, I'm really sorry, we don't have time. Here's why, and here's like the resources to help you answer your question, and hopefully you can get it answered there. But I have to open up my text editor every time where I have these saved and copy and paste things instead of just clicking a drop down and clicking respond with email template A. And Tuda actually has this feature, and it's just not a hard feature to implement whatsoever. I think it's like no different than implementing a signature, right? Like just a
Yeah.
default signature into the email. So those are my top two. And I gotta say, Proton Pass just keeps kicking butt because they recently added support for having multiple user accounts in their clients, I think, which was not something they did before, which was my big complaint. And they now have a
Mhm.
light mode, which also follows system theme. So it has like an appearance system theme. So Proton Pass continually like listens to its users and delivers. And I just think Proton Pass is kicking ass.
It is looking really nice. I really want to switch to it, but I can't because my current password manager, I can store my SSH keys into it, and it integrates with like my terminal, so I can connect to servers
Oh, that's cool.
using keys stored in my password manager. And Proton Pass doesn't do that or really have any sort of desktop integration. So if Proton Pass added that, and I know this is a feature
Super
request that's
niche.
open on their end already, but no, I think that really anyone who's a developer anyways could benefit from this.
Okay.
Or like uses Git, for example. I think it's not, I mean, it's niche among non-technical people for sure, but I think that a lot of people actually use this feature and it prevents them from switching to other platforms. So Proton, consider it. Please.
Yeah. And I think on a more meta level, I just they kind of alluded to this, but they wish that there was like more consistent desktop apps. And to this day, I still feel that way. I think there's a lot of just
Yeah.
inconsistencies with the suite, which we can spend 20 minutes diving into if we really wanted to. But I think like the big things for me day to day, and again, I'm also saying a lot of things that they've already announced they want to do. Like I know they already said Proton Calendar for iOS is awful. I want to say Andy Yen on Seth's podcast straight up said, "Yeah, Proton Calendar for iOS." He either said it like has a lot of work to do, or he very heavily implied it wasn't great. So,
Yeah.
but they said there's a widget coming. They said it's going to get basic support for extra things, and I think there's an upcoming Proton Mail redesign coming for their mobile apps. iOS should get it first, I believe. So we'll see what that looks like. You just watched a clip from the Techlore Clips channel, which is taken from our main channel, Techlore, where we talk about digital rights, privacy, security, and so much more about tech to give you a better relationship with the technology you use. Check out the main channel over here, and also check out maybe another suggested video to learn more.